Welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. The HBO Max reboot of Gossip Girl gives fans drama like the original, but with a modern flair. Creator, writer, and showrunner Josh Safran is largely responsible for bringing this version of the Upper East Side saga to life. I spoke to Josh about the second series and themes scattered throughout, along with Gossip Girl being canceled by HBO Max. Welcome, Josh Safran, creator of Gossip Girl. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here, Tracy.
Yes, of course. Well, I will start with the news that Gossip Girl was canceled last week, which I'm very sorry to hear because I kind of just got up to speed. I binged the first season over the holidays, and now I'm completely caught up and absolutely enjoying it. So I'm sorry that this happened, but I did want to just kind of touch base with you about why in 2020, 2021, why did you feel that Gossip Girl was ripe for a reboot or a remake?
Sure. Josh and Stephanie, who had co-created the original and had run the original, and I was a co-executive producer of the original, they came to me. They had been trying to actually figure out whether they wanted to redo it. They had worked with a couple people trying to figure out if it was possible, but then they quickly sort of came to this conclusion that if they were going to do it, they would want me to do it. So they approached me, and I wasn't even sure. I was in the middle of doing a different show at the time, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I actually felt like it's a universe that is sort of timeless. I mean, whether it's sort of Oscar Wilde, I mean, it shares, there's so many sort of like things in time immemorial, Shakespeare even with gossip and scandal and all of that fun stuff. So I felt like, sure, it was time to do it again.
These class issues that are coming into play. And I think that speaks to a bigger issue with education, where teachers are not able to do their jobs either from not having resources or from parents having too much intervention or from the government having too much to say.
Totally. And I have friends who are teachers. I mean, that's where that came from. I have friends who are teachers at private schools in New York City, and they obviously they don't make a lot of money, especially because private school teachers get paid less than public school teachers. And it was talking to them and hearing what their struggles were and how it's so hard because they're teaching kids who have a lot of privilege and have a lot of money, and yet they themselves don't have it. And these kids can get away with anything. And so that was really surprising for me to think. I went to private school in New York, and I don't think I actually thought of that. And when I went to private school, it was so long ago that none of this stuff really existed. I didn't even know how much money my friends' parents had. I went to school with the Murdochs, so just to be clear, and I wasn't even aware of that. I mean, James Murdoch was a senior when I was a freshman, but I was not aware of what their world was. And now I think every kid is aware of that, and the teachers are doubly aware of that. If you're going to send a stern letter home because somebody didn't do their homework, and
You have in Gossip Girl black leads. You've got a throuple. I think maybe one of Teen TV's, maybe the first Teen TV throuple, at least that I've seen, which is groundbreaking. You've got a trans actress who is Latina. You've got a black lesbian character who's one of the leads. And Gossip Girl does this very authentically inside of this rarefied world. And I mean, it doesn't feel like anything is too much or that, you're eating your peas when you're watching Gossip Girl. And I wonder if you would talk a little bit about the balance and how you were able to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the goal this time around was, all right, let's really look at the world around us. Private schools, New York City has changed. Private schools have changed. The majority of them aren't all white, and money isn't all white. And also sort of a lot of private schools in New York City, there are a lot of people from other countries here. So for instance, that's where like Obi and Luna and Aki came in. A lot of parents want their kids, in Luna's case, want their kids to go to school in New York City, but they're not even there. Like they're there with a minder living there because they just want that education. So that was part of it. It was just sort of looking at the melting pot of the world and how that is now in New York and representing that. But also, I don't know. I mean, it's 2023. It was 2020 when we were writing it, and we just wanted to show the world, and we wanted to show complicated characters of color, complicated queer characters. I think things really on a lot of shows were for a while tending towards a binary. You didn't see messy characters necessarily. Like, you saw messy queer characters, and like their mess was the point, as opposed to sort of like characters that were alternately messy and clean, if that makes any sense. I really wanted to like showcase that. And also the cast is obviously diverse, but they're also very queer. It's the queerest cast that I've ever worked with. And so they also had a point of view. And the writers, obviously, we had queer writers and a trans writer, and like the stories all came from all of us, but the cast represented that. And for instance, Savannah Smith, who plays Monet, is an out bisexual woman. Monet was not initially going to be queer, but when I saw how out Savannah was, which I didn't know when I cast her, I just happened to see it on her social media after following her, after casting her. I went to her and said, "Would you mind if we made Monet a lesbian?" Because we talked about it, but we were like, no, let's not. Maybe that's too much queer content for these like characters, because I still have a network brain in me. And Savannah was like, "No, I want to like make her a lesbian." Like, and then we had that. We had Savannah's like conversation with Savannah to put in there. Like, we would talk about what it's like to be a queer Black woman, and we would talk to Zion about what it's like to be trans actress, Latina trans actress. Like, we talked to Jordan, who plays Julian, who's a queer woman, like that. So even though Julian isn't a queer woman, Jordan is. Her stories don't necessarily impact Julian's character. We used some of her, story that she would tell us in the writers' room for other characters. So it really was a very open set, and I think that's what makes the show feel like it's a lesson, like it's trying to teach you a lesson.
Being canceled left and right across networks.
Yes,
it's a problem, and I don't know that you'll be able to solve this, but
my dog is making an appearance. Sorry about that. All right, buddy.
I love it. My cat's over here.
My cat may show up too. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that a lot, and I'm really nervous about it, because I think not only are these shows being canceled that already exist, but my fear is that shows in development might have some of that content stripped of them. And I don't know. I can't say that I know that. So directly, like I've heard that, but it's a vibe that you can feel that some, the more corporations take over media, you're not dealing with like these executives who are very sort of open, also who are executives of color, queer executives. Like on Gossip Girl, our executive branch represented the show as much as the characters do. Like, we really were all of a piece, but corporations are different. They tend to be made up of a lot of straight white men, saying so, and who are older, and their politics lean more right than left. And I worry about the trickle down that's going to happen.
I wonder, is there an opportunity that another network might pick Gossip Girl up?
So we've had talks with people, and obviously people love the show and are interested. It's just the price point is so high. It's like for that, it's just Gossip Girl really is the most expensive show that I will probably ever work on. And if it had dragons in it, or if it was in a zombie universe, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's a teen drama. But it still looks like YA, so it's very hard. So I don't know. And at the very least, I'm so proud of, like you said, like one of the first thruples. I mean, I know Elite has had like characters that have had threesomes that maybe have extended a little bit, but to tell a true story about polyamory amongst teenagers, I'm really proud of that. Like that is. I'm only sad that the finale wasn't engineered to be a finale, because it makes it look like like just about sexual exploration or sexual fun. I'm really grateful for that.
Thanks so much to Josh for stopping by. I'm sad to see the series go with its incredibly queer and racially diverse cast, but you can stream all episodes now on HBO Max. For more of my full interviews with entertainment's biggest stars, head to the Advocate Channel YouTube page. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. I'll see you next time.